Survive 30 days chained to your ex, win $250,000. Part 10. The city had settled into its morning rhythm, but for Klara, the world felt quieter than usual. She wandered along the banks of the Vltava, the river's surface catching the gold of the early sun and reflecting the red rooftops like scattered jewels. Her violin rested lightly against her shoulder, as if sensing that today's music was meant for her own thoughts rather than an audience. She stopped at one of the stone bridges, leaning on the railing and letting the wind lift her hair. Below, boats glided softly, their oars dipping with gentle precision. Children's laughter echoed from the far shore, mingling with the distant hum of church bells. In that moment, the city felt intimate, almost secretive, as if it were sharing a quiet confidence with her alone. Klara's mind turned to the notebook and the hidden sheet she had performed earlier. She traced the notes in her memory, recalling the way each phrase had seemed to awaken something inside the city itself. It was strange to think that a melody could hold such power, yet the faces in the square had told the truth. There was a connection between music and memory, between past and present, stronger than anything she had imagined. A soft rustle behind her made her turn. An elderly man, carrying a small basket of flowers, paused to smile at her. His eyes were bright, almost sparkling, and he tipped his hat in a quiet greeting. "Beautiful morning, yes?" he said, his voice gentle and warm. Klara nodded, returning the smile. "Yes, it is." He lingered for a moment, then moved on, leaving her alone again with the river and her thoughts. She lowered her violin, letting her fingers brush over the strings. For the first time, she played not for anyone else, not for an audience, but for herself. For the way the sound made her heart expand, for the way it seemed to touch invisible threads running through the city. Hours passed unnoticed. The streets grew busier, but Klara stayed along the water, walking, pausing, and listening. She thought of the people she had glimpsed from the tower, the way music had drawn them together even for a few fleeting minutes. There was a magic in that, a reminder that every small gesture, every note played, could ripple far beyond what one could see. By late afternoon, the sun had shifted, painting the river in warm amber tones. Klara finally turned back toward the heart of the city, each step lighter than the last. The notebook, the melody, and the memory of the morning were tucked safely inside her like precious stones in a hidden pocket. She knew there were still stories to uncover, melodies yet unsung, but for now she carried a quiet certainty. She belonged here, in this city with its music, its secrets, and its endless twilight that promised new beginnings at every turn. Klara's reflection shimmered in the water as she walked on, a lone figure moving through a city that had begun to feel like home. She smiled to herself, knowing that the journey was far from over, and that each step along the Vltava would bring new discoveries, new songs, and perhaps new connections that would continue to weave the city's timeless story.